The biggest money generator when you're young or when you don't have that capital is yourself. So it's the mindset of some people who are poorer and they blame, I don't have enough opportunity and all.
There's a saying that goes, the rich gets richer, the poor stays poor.
Investment is a complicated game. You have to be invested in it. You have to learn from it. And I guess you have to be humble about it.
What do you think about this make money fast mentality?
It's actually not logical. Or it's
why's
not.
that?
It's not. It's actually very unlikely.
I was thinking like a poor person. I was thinking why I don't get sales, why nobody want to talk to me, the product sucks, the company sucks, the market sucks, these people suck. A successful people would not put another person who's trying to be successful. They won't put them down. If you're trying to come up and you're already here, they already know what it takes to come up. Nobody likes to help someone who's lazy.
No one is 100% sure on where the market is. Don't look into how much money that you could have made. Focus on the money that you have made, move on to the next investment.
You're growing it rather than doing nothing. It sounds like it doesn't matter where you start, right? But you can get to wherever you want to go as long as you... Hey guys, welcome to Keep It 100 Talks. And the reason I created this podcast, this talk, is because I believe conversations have such a great way to influence our life. There might be a conversation that you're listening in, or maybe somebody that you're talking to. And in those moments, something in that conversation triggered an inspiration, triggered a whole new set of actions, decisions that open up a whole new path for your life. It's like a little window that opens up to a whole new world. So I want to bring those meaningful conversations in a podcast like this. So we bring in people who are willing to share their journey, share their mindset, share their thoughts and knowledge, revolving topics around mindset, money, and lifestyle. So with that, I got a favor to ask as well. If you ever find value in these conversations, please do us a big favor by subscribing to the channel and also sharing with your friends. Because I believe the larger the podcast grows, we're able to get more people onto this channel to provide you more value. All right, so thanks for watching this episode. And let's keep it 100, let's keep it real. Let's have some really good conversations in Keep It 100 Talks. There's a saying that goes, the rich gets richer. But I also heard another saying that the poor stays poor. Now, I know it's a bit harsh, but I want to find out today, how true is it? And if it's true, why? And if there's a chance for us to tip those odds against for ourselves, for our own benefit, right? So today we're going to challenge everything we know about money and how to get rich. Probably mine too, I'm going to get challenged too. So I'm sitting in front of William. He's known as RichdadWilliam on IG. And I started following him because of his comical reels. And of course, he's a car guy. He's also the owner of the first Rolls Royce Spectre in Malaysia. And it's a plethora of some amazing supercars, right? But one thing I always like is that he shares occasionally his wisdom on investing and finance. And I reached out to him. I'm so happy that he's willing to come on camera, come today on Keep It 100 podcast and share some of this, all right? So, William, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for inviting. Very happy to be here. And hopefully I can share something that will be beneficial to everyone and have some conversations around this topic.
Great, man. Let's have some fun. And I'm sure that you have... I'm sure I'm going to get something because I just want to learn, okay?
Sure.
Who doesn't learn money? Who doesn't love money, right? No.
I'm always learning myself. Hopefully I can learn something of you as well.
Okay.
And maybe if the audience, they can comment something that we can learn from as well. Yeah, everyone will benefit from this.
Cool.
Yeah.
So before we start, William, you have a lifestyle that I think a lot of people would like to have, including myself, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't mind to share, like, how did you get to where you are financially today?
So actually, to tell the truth, I actually didn't grow up, rich, right? Compared to what may be portrayed on social media. And a piece of advice is don't believe everything that you see on social media. A lot of things are a bit exaggerated. Yeah. But yes, a bit of myself, I didn't grow up especially rich, probably from a middle class family. Definitely could not afford the supercars and or the Porsches, Yeah, never in my realm of thought during my childhood that I could think that, you could buy this.
This is so inspiring because, a lot of people might look at your social media content and I'm sure you get comments like this, right? They say, must be daddy's money or...
Yeah. There are always comments like this, but, if you don't understand that person, maybe you do not know their background.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But of course, with some luck, and of course, I wouldn't discount that. It's also a bit of family support. There's a bit of luck involved. There's a lot of investment, learning, and over the years, managed to build up a bit of a portfolio, and that managed to get to where I am today. And hopefully it can continue to grow. Hopefully I can continue to do a bit better. Yeah. Hope everyone prosper. Yeah.
So what was your first way of getting up? Was it like in business or was it investment? If you don't mind to share, how do you get there?
Mostly investment.
Okay.
Investment, yeah. Of course, had some support from the family as well. Help them to manage some investment. I got a bit of capital for myself, and that's where things start to grow. Did very well, or did not to say very well, but did okay, which I consider okay. And then you start to build up that kind of capital that you can grow, and then that's the power of investment. Yeah, that's the power of investment. You can continue to grow your capital, take more risks, and you can see a bigger return.
But I would argue that you have. You say you did okay. I think you did more than okay, lah.
Yeah.
If I'm having a few supercars in my garage, I think I'm doing more than okay.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I mean there are levels to this.
Yeah,
I think that I still hope to achieve. Of course, very lucky to be where I am today, and yeah, would like to do better.
I'd like to take this opportunity to maybe learn a bit more about you, because I think this would help our audience get a bit more context.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
In how did you get started? Like, can you take me to the time how you got started? Because you say start from middle class family, and that's so inspiring. Like, if anything, well, guys, let me know in the comments if you find this inspiring. It's so inspiring to hear you got to where you are today, and you didn't have the it seems like you didn't have the odds like most people. You're from middle class.
Yeah.
And then you grew to where you are today. So if you don't mind to share a bit of backstory, how did you get started? Like, were you working for someone, or were you in the banking industry? Or
Yeah. I started working a normal job, just like everyone else. I started out in the banking industry, within the treasury department. So I was actually exposed to a lot of treasury products and investment products. And that's where, you get a lot of investment knowledge and you continue to learn. Like I said, I didn't come from too bad of a family. I didn't come from too great of a family, somewhere around the middle. And of course, my family had prior investments. That also did quite well over the last maybe 10 to 15 years. Then I just took it on from there, applying a lot of my knowledge that I learned, taking out some of the capital that they managed to acquire, and then you start to grow it. And I think for some people who may not have that kind of base or that kind of support, I guess, you still need to continue to work harder. To build up that kind of base and, take it from there. I guess everyone has different levels of starting point from where they come from. I think that's just the reality, You can come from somewhere that's not a great place, or you can come from somewhere that's a middle place. But the most important thing is that you continue to learn, continue to grow. And of course, within investment, you continue to invest your money. And if the investment does well, you can achieve the things that you want in life.
I think it was a very nice message, because it sounds like it doesn't matter where you start, right? But you can get to where you want to go as long as you put your mind to it, right?
Definitely. Yeah. It's all about the mindset. It's all about the dedication and, probably your willingness to learn and, commit yourself into to that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I want to direct the question a bit next to something, is that what was your, I believe everyone who's very smart with money has made a lot of poor decisions before. Yeah. And you learn from it, right? This is my belief, right?
Yeah.
What was your biggest financial struggle before? Because I'm sure to get you where you're today, you have made some struggles, you made some mistakes.
Yeah.
What was something that people don't know about you in your financial struggle? What would be one example that probably, that you had?
Yeah. I think growing up, before I was, more knowledgeable in the field of investment, and it's probably like a mindset that was passed down from the parents, like always save your money, put your money in the account, try not to do anything too risky with that.
Means just like save.
Yeah, just save. So I used to have a bit of a mindset that if I don't have this amount of money in my bank, I wouldn't want to spend it. Right. And it still holds true to this day. Like if I do my investments, like I need to have this amount of money.
Like liquid cash,
and a bit of a spare fund there. So it's like I used to have maybe 5 figures in my account, which is not doing anything, just sitting there. It's more like a safety net for us. And I think it's just a mindset that was passed down from your parents, like be frugal and save your money, keep it for a rainy day. That kind of mindset. And I come to a point in my life where I realized that, hey, the money is not doing anything for me. It's sitting there, and I feel that I'm losing out opportunity cost from there. And it's actually quite true for a lot of people, because I have a lot of friends who also have that kind of savings, and they don't utilize that money as efficiently as possible. And then, when I start to think more about money and more about investment, and it's basically how much returns that you can get out of your money from your existing money. And I guess that's where the mindset changed. And, I started looking money differently and how I can maximize the return that I have on my money. And instead of just, letting it sit there, not doing anything, you're losing the opportunity cost. And a lot of it is just about whether you want to do it or not. Because some people, they are quite lazy and say, oh, I'll just leave it there. Maybe I have some use for it. But if you put the extra effort to reinvest, to even, put it into a liquid kind of investment, you can just squeeze out an extra percentage or two, which, in the early years, it might seem like a very small amount of money. But, if you apply the same mindset and like 1% for $1 million is like 10,000 a year. So it's like, that's a big sum, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't squeeze out that 1%, you're losing 10,000 ringgit a year, right? So I think that's where the mindset changed for me.
I think a lot of people save money out of fear, right? They want they don't want to spend, they want to invest out of fear. And what happens, what you're trying to say is that if you do that, then you lose the opportunity to make those money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also it's not because investment, there are different type of assets, which I try to educate as well. It's not just like, you buy the stock where it can go up and down. Yeah, there are investments that you can lose money. But there are also investments that are relatively safe, can provide a higher return compared to, maybe a fixed deposit. Everyone's mindset is probably fixed deposit is probably the most safest asset that you can get a return from. But I feel that there are also stable assets that don't have that kind of risk, that can provide an extra 1 to 2% of returns back on your money. And it's actually whether people are aware of this product or whether they are exposed to this. But if they do know about it, why not? Why not just go for investing in it? Yeah.
What kind of asset class would that be? I mean, I'm asking for myself because I want to know. Because I do have some money saved up in fixed deposit. I think everyone should have. At least my mindset is.
Yeah.
But then, what if there's something that does better than FD and still liquid, right?
Yeah.
So what would those things be? If, for example, like?
They are fixed incomes. They are basically bonds, which are very stable bonds. That it's a bit more risky, but let's say if you put FDs at 3.5%, right? You're definitely going to get 3.5% for the year. And you put it with, let's say, Hong Leong Bank, right? But what if Hong Leong Bank comes up with a fixed income note that pays you 4% coupon? Coupon, we call it coupon, which is just basically also interest that they pay for you to buy the note. But in essentially, you're putting your money with Hong Leong Bank. There is a risk that Hong Leong Bank might go bust and you can't recover your money, right? There's this very small risk, but we don't factor in that risk because it's a very big bank. Very least likely event to happen. Then why don't you put it into the fixed income note that Hong Leong Bank is also issuing as part of their capital requirements, and you earn that extra, maybe 0.5%, 0.7% over the year. It's essentially the same risk, but just a different product.
That's right, because if the bank goes bust, the fixed deposit gets affected too, right?
That's true. Yeah. And we are assuming a very unlikely case that the bank will actually go bust, right? So you can always go for all these fixed income assets that are stable, issued by a well-respected name, where you know that the risk is very minimal, and you can squeeze out the extra 0.5%, 1%. There are a lot of bonds that is on the market that is paying out like 4.5% to 5%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it from corporations or is it from like governments?
Corporations, banks, large corporations, like maybe names like Genting, which is it's a big company that I think a lot of Malaysians would know about this name, right?
Guys who drive cars up Genting, you know what?
Instead of going to their casino, go buy their bonds. Yeah. So it's about whether they are aware of this product. And then you evaluate the risk. Obviously, it's slightly more risky, but you can get a better return from that.
It's interesting. You talk about the emphasis of squeezing 1%, 2%, 0.5%. Because a lot of people who are young nowadays, they keep thinking about how do I make money fast. So what do you think about this make money fast mentality? Is it a right? Is it good to think like that, or to have the kind of mindset you have? It's like squeeze a bit more, 0.5%, 1.5 more, 2%. Which should be the more say wise route to take?
I actually, a mentality that you can make fast money is actually not logical. Or it's not.
That?
It's actually very unlikely because fast money is like you can probably get like 100% gain
or 2x,
like 2x over a year, which I say is a very good kind of thing. But that mentality is like, hey, I want 2x within 2 months. I think this is very illogical because how many assets or how many products that you can actually invest into that can actually 2x your money, right? If there is such an asset that you can invest to, right? Wouldn't like EPF, the largest fund manager in the country, right? Wouldn't they invest into this kind of assets? So the reason why EPF is churning out 5 to 6% a year is that because they know that you cannot, or there isn't much assets, or it's very unlikely to have an asset that you can actually 2x. Or, even 50% gain is a very unlikely scenario. In the investment world, if you are doing 10%, it's actually considered pretty great. If you do 20%, excellent. You're top of the range. And anything above that is 1 in a million kind of investment portfolio. There are some fund managers that can get above 20%. But there's a reason why all these experts, they are exposed to billions and billions of asset management capital, right? That they can only churn out 20%, 30%, and that's considered superb performance, right? And why is no one doing 50%, 100%? That's the reason. So it's very illogical to think that there's a asset that you can very quickly get 2x your money. So I say to the younger people who have this kind of mentality, temper down your expectation, right? Be more practical. Learn the actual knowledge that you need to do investment, and you can occasionally pick up a stock that can do very well, 30%, even up to 50%, and like I said, occasionally.
Because when you talk about, I think what a lot of people fail to see is that this 50% return is across per annum, or maybe across 10 years of performance per annum, right? So in order to achieve that kind of performance consistently, is extremely unlikely, like you said, right?
Extremely unlikely. There are cases where if you buy Nvidia three years ago, you can 10x your money. But that's the reason why no one is buying Nvidia at $20 3 years ago, right? It's because they can't foresee that. But like I said, it's like probably again 1 in a million. There's a million stocks around the world, and if you manage to pick one out, it's possible. But those are not get rich schemes that are targeted investment, that you understand the company, you have faith in the company, and not to mention, if you are very lucky, you can enter before the price shows up. But there are also people who has invested in Nvidia, for example, over the last 10 years. So they literally put their money there for 10 years, and only in the last 3 years they've seen their return. So you put it in an annualized kind of context. They on an annualized gain, they probably gain like maybe 30% over a 10-year period. But of course, the last 3 years is where they saw the return come from, right? One thing that I like to talk about in my investment channel also is about timing the market. There's actually no way that anyone in the world will know about the timing of the market. So basically, no one knows about the lows, no one knows about the highs. It's all about whether you can get into the market. If you're confident, hold on to it. And if you made some money, you made your target investment return that you're very happy with, and you exit, then don't look into how much money that you could have made. Focus on the money that you have made. Move on to the next investment. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I didn't buy Bitcoin, or I sold too early. You can, if you put it into context, this, like if you look in 2024, Bitcoin is 100,000. But back in 2022, when Bitcoin was 16,000, how did you feel? Right? It has to put into a lot of context. It's the same, and it applies very similarly to other assets as well. Right? A lot of people are fearful to buy when it's at the low, and when it's at the high, they keep on holding for the highs. But everything that goes up, there is a very high possibility that it will come back down as well. And then when you come back down, you feel that you're stuck in the investment. So the advice that I like to put out is that, you never know the timing of the market. If you can, buy the lows and you want to get into that particular asset, go for it. When you manage to meet your investment target, your return target, 30%, 40%, just go for it, exit, and, keep an eye on the company, move on. Or you can keep an eye on the asset when it comes back down, re-buy into it. Yeah. But don't get too hung up on chasing the highs, and don't get too crushed like, hey, I'm fearful of buying that stock because it's that too low. As long as you've done your research, the industry is good, the company is stable. A lot of it is just market volatility, news, government policies, sentiment, interest rate, all that kind of thing. But if you believe that the industry is doing well, there's nothing else that is stopping them from gaining their revenue, their profits. Yeah, even if it's at all-time low, just buy into it, wait it out. Yeah, there needs to be a level of patience investment, right? You can't be expecting to buy a stock and then next week it's gonna get like a 10% gain, right? It's very unlikely. It's so like I mentioned, tempering the expectations. So investment is about a long-term game. And what's the difference between getting 50% next week versus getting 50% in a year's time? It's still 50%, right? Yeah.
I see. At least you're growing it rather than doing nothing.
That's right. Yeah. You're being invested in that asset.
Means what you say, time in the market versus timing in the market. You say right?
That's right. That's
something you say about that. I've been one of the videos to say that before.
Yeah, the timing of the market. You never know when
the market low,
where it is. If it's low, could it go lower? Then if you have the mindset that it can go lower, then you wait, right? And you don't want to enter market. But it could very quickly change and it could very quickly rebound, right? And then your regret is that you didn't buy into the stock and you missed out on that. So yeah, don't time the market. Even if it's not at the lowest, if it is a good asset to buy in, just go into the asset and then just hold.
How would you know it's a good asset? Because you said something about research, right?
Yeah. That's probably another aspect of the knowledge that you have to train yourself and pick up. Yeah. And is that okay, I can give examples of how to pick out a good asset or an industry. I guess a lot of this is looking at where government policy is, where government direction is. For Malaysia, especially, I also talk about this, that they are focusing a lot into data centers. There are a lot of policies, there are a lot of investments that are coming into data centers. And obviously there are a few stocks that has done very well within this space, right? Construction stocks, YTL, power, energy stocks. And of course the chip stocks, right? So we all know that investments are coming in, right? We all know that government is supporting this this initiative. So we know that over the next 2 years, there will be a lot of investment, there will be a lot of revenue to be gained for these companies. And you need to research which companies are actively investing their money into this field. And then see where of course the stock price is. And if you're comfortable, like their stock price is not too high over the last 2 years, right? It's still it hasn't moved too much from its lows. Then you're happy to invest into a company.
Do you think this whole copy kang tao thing works? It's a stock tip. If I just know a rich friend, if I just know William and I buy his coffee every day, and he tells me to buy these things, then one day I can have a Rolls Royce Spectre or something. No, does it work like that, or what's your opinion about this?
Yeah. I'm gonna frame it into a context later.
Okay.
But the very short answer is that definitely it doesn't work. Because when I invest, I definitely don't have 100% confidence on whether the company will do well, will go up and down. It's still a risk on my part And like I said, it relates back to the timing of the market. Even when I buy into certain stocks or certain assets, there are many times that it went even lower, where I could have bought it even cheaper before it goes back up, right? And there are also some stocks that I've invested in which did not move much, and I have a bit of loss, but I'm okay to hold on to the stocks, right? So coming back on this, in this idea that stock tips, Kang Tao, relying on a wealthy friend, right? A lot of it is just because no investor in the world will have 100% confidence that they know where the market is going.
Even
No
the
one,
best. Really?
even the best, right?
So how do they make money then?
Like I said, they have confidence and they have knowledge. So they have 80% confidence that the market will go up, but no one is 100% sure on where the market is.
I see.
And those that would 100% know whether the stock will do well is that they have insider information.
I see.
So that's the only way that a person is 100% confident that a company will do well, or if they're going to get investigated next week, it's going to crash, right? And it comes at, like I said, why I frame it in the context is that then it comes to the fact that it's insider information.
Yeah.
So insider information is illegal. You're front running the market, you're front running the public, and if it gets found out by the authorities, obviously you'll be arrested. So now the question is that, do you want to be listening to people who has insider information? And if you do make your money from that, you may very high chance to be implicated as well, because you have access to insider information and you are profiting off information that's not publicly available. So those are illegal as well.
So it's a criminal act, not just a fine, right?
No, it's a criminal act.
Oh, really?
So there are a lot of cases where insider, like a director of a company, they know what's happening to the company. They probably colluded with their relative or their friend to buy the stock, just to keep it off the name. But when the authorities, they do their investigation, they do their research, and they found out, hey, you pass this information on to your friend. So at the end of the day, both you get incriminated.
Oh,
yeah.
Even the person who received the information act on it.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. So a lot of direct, it's actually very common. A lot of people they have the information, but they don't want to use their own name to buy.
I see.
Because definitely get investigated.
Wow.
So they either look for their relatives, which nowadays you don't do that as well, because definitely very easy to trace. But they look for a friend to do that. Okay, which is a bit harder.
Yeah.
Right. Because but then when they look into the flow of money, obviously you have to give your friend that money to buy, right? Unless that friend is rich as well. Then when they conclude their investigations and all, and it's definitely a criminal act.
Oh wow!
So coming back to your point is that, do you then want? So case one is that no one knows 100% what's going to happen. So it's a 50-50 kind of a guess. So do you want to listen to these people who doesn't have that kind of information? Or do you listen to people, or case number two, you listen to people who has insider information, but potentially you may incriminate yourself as well. So yeah, I'm pretty confident that tips like this are usually on the case of it's just 50-50. Someone who has a lot of confidence in the market, but a lot of it is not 100%. It's probably like just 70%.
It's easy to follow the entry. Just driving is a good philosophy. It's easy to look at the line and say, I follow the entry, right?
Yeah. We've heard so much that stock tips, hey, buy. No one ever says, hey, buy then sell at this price. Because the stock tips will never know how much it can go up. So they never say, buy and sell at this price. They just say, hey, buy. Because, they've probably done their research. I wouldn't say that there are some experts who don't have totally any idea. Yeah, there are experts that have an idea. But it's like I said, a confidence level of 70%, 80%. It may go up, but they will never know how much it can go up to. Because that's just the market. No one knows where's the timing of the market. Where is the highs, where are the lows, right? So they tell you to buy, they don't tell you to exit. And then you buy, okay, it goes up, you feel good. And then it very quickly probably comes back down and you forgot to exit. And then now you blame the person. I would say is probably you blame yourself for not understanding the industry, the stock, and not getting out earlier. So like I said, investment target just now, right? If you set investment target 10%, 20%, can exit, you are happy with that 20%. But if you're waiting for like 50%, stocks goes up and down. So you never know where they are.
So I also learn a lot when I talk to traders. They have a very clear line when to they're emotionless. If this is when I take profit, I don't care, right? Right. So it also seems like the way you're talking about my target is like you don't care. You reach, just execute and then move on, right? And then you could have made more, never mind, right? You've already done it. Next time, there's always a next deck.
There's always a next asset. There's always a next time, like you mentioned, because stocks could go up and down, assets could go up and down in value. If you can kind of time it, buy in the lows, sell in the high, right? Very logical concept, right? But if you actually apply this concept, you can make your money on it.
I hope you guys are getting some sort of as I'm listening to William, I'm getting his mindset of how he thinks and how he does his investments and how he approach things. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, and something I noticed among people who are really well to do in investments. I think they are very similar wisdom, and there's a mindset to it. Today I want to talk a little bit about mindset.
Sure.
Right, thanks for sharing so much. But I want to talk a little bit about mindset, and I started today's podcast by thinking, how the rich gets richer and the poor remains poor. Is it true or not? So I got a question here: is that some people, right? Say that the system is rigged, because I used to think that when I was young, when I started to work, I used to think I have no business being rich. That's my poor mindset, right? I have no business being rich. Being rich is someone else's thing. I'm never going to be rich, right? Until I sort of realized that I was holding myself with my mindset. But when I was in that mindset that I have no business being rich, I envy rich people, right? I always thought they're evil, they're doing something bad or everything, something shady. But and I started to even think that, the system is rigged against the poor people. I have this victim mentality. So I had this mindset where the rich people got resources, they got network, they got money, they got opportunities, information that I don't have. That's why they all stay rich. So rather than debating this whole thing, can you share a specific example that if this is true or not, or maybe it's not true, or do you have any experience with this idea that the system is rigged or not rigged? Or what's your opinion on this?
I wouldn't say the system is rigged. My experience in it is that definitely, if you're not wealthy, there are different levels of access that you can get, especially to resources, information, network. I think that's just the reality, right? Probably wealthy people would like to mix around with wealthier people, because the reason why they do that is that they also hope to get more networks, more business opportunities, and more information in general, because information is very important, right? But it's not specifically rigged to keep the poor poorer, right? I guess it's just the difficulty in getting access to this. The poor can also do that, but it's whether you will actually need to work a bit harder, to access the information. You probably need to do more hours of research to achieve the same level of information. You probably need to network 3 times more effort, to get the same type of connections. It's not rigged to keep you poorer. It's just a bit harder. But that's just the reality of the market right now. So an example of that is that, of course, myself, I have resources from the bankers, right? Private banks and investment banks. They do give me the information and resources. And it's
because you're their clients, right?
I'm their clients, and they do give it to me in like in a format, right? Summary format. But these are information that probably is not readily available to other people who are not clients or who are not of that level of wealth. But ultimately, it's also information that they can actually look into and research and get it out. It just takes a bit more time, just takes a bit more effort, get to know more people, to get the same information. So my take on it is that, yes, it's probably a bit unfair, but that's the reality of the world. And, that kind of mindset will come to push you to work harder, to achieve that kind of level, where you can then get access to that kind of information, that kind of knowledge, and then you can probably improve yourself in terms of wealth.
So it's what you're saying is that yes, it can be tougher if I'm if I'm not from, because I think it's natural. I don't think it's kind of like in a way rigged. Now that I look at it, it's because people of certain interests will hang out with each other, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you play golf, you end up meeting people playing golf, and
Definitely.
people who play golf typically will have a certain amount of wealth, right? And if you, let's say you like cars like yourself, you buy a certain kind of car brand, you just so happen to hang out with people, when they host events, they call all their owners over, right? So it's just a natural thing that you meet each other, right?
That's right.
And if you don't possess any of those interests, you probably have less chance to meet those people. And if your asset is a bit smaller, you don't have, private bankers calling you and giving you information.
That's true,
right?
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, just because it's unfair, it doesn't mean you can't do anything. Right. And that's the beauty of it, right? It doesn't mean you cannot do anything. You can do something. And today with internet, with research, we all can get information in our hand.
Sure. Yeah. It just takes a bit more effort. Let's say even if you don't have a car, I think a lot of the car community, they're very happy to share. But it's probably, like you said, probably a bit of a mindset of the poor that they say, hey, I can't join this kind of club, which is untrue, right? I'm sure in a lot of the car clubs, right? Everyone's pretty friendly, all right? I won't say rich people are stuck up, right? I have met a lot of wealthy people who are very happy to chat, to have conversations, and they're pretty humble in actuality. I mean, I probably there are one or two who are a bit stuck up, right? But in general, a lot is just they're just normal people. They just have a bit more money, and these people they have their connections, they have their networks. So approach them and talk to them, and if you have the mindset that hey, we don't have that kind of difference in class, then we can have a nice conversation. A lot of people, they are just willing to share. There are no like secret information that rich people like to keep. There's no such thing, because there are probably like business opportunities. Yes, they wouldn't share that with you. Okay. But a lot of the information, a lot of the knowledge, they're very willing to share. They're willing to speak up, because it's not a secret. It's just a conversation topic. So don't have that mindset that hey, this guy is unapproachable, right? And this guy, they like to keep some secrets from people. There's no such thing. I think take the effort. Obviously, the less wealthy will have to make more effort to do it. Talk to people to get themselves knowledgeable as well, because you can't just randomly talk to a guy who has, but you don't have that same level of knowledge, right? Then the conversation will just get stuck. So you bring yourself up to a certain level of knowledge where you can have a decent conversation. Then you can start to learn from him, get some information from him, and then take it back and improve yourself.
That's a massive tip you got there, because I was about to ask you, how do I talk to someone who's like obviously out of my social circle? And you answered the question, like bring yourself up first so you can talk to them. And we can learn, we can watch videos, we can read, and we can get ourselves well versed in a certain topic, so we can go there.
That's right. Because if you're not willing to put yourself to learn that topic that he's probably that guy is very enthusiastic in, then if you just approach him and you go and ask him, hey, how do I make money? No one is going to tell you that kind of thing. But if you have a chat, say, hey, that's a very nice car you have. I love the Porsche. Then you have a conversation around cars and say, hey, I would like to, make some investment. What industries do you think But you don't just ask them blankly. You have to give a bit of input yourself. Probably like, hey, I see there's a lot of activity going on in the energy field. What do you think? Right. So I've done my research, and then that's a conversation starter. Instead of you asking a question, hey, what industry do I buy in? What stocks can make money? How do you expect someone to respond to you, right? In that kind of thing. But when you create a topic of conversation and says, hey, I have a friend that does energy projects. Sometimes you can just bullshit a bit. Doesn't have to be exactly true. You may not have a friend that is in the energy industry, right? But you say, hey, I have a friend in the energy industry. And then they're seeing a lot of activity going on in Penang, in Johor. Hey, I realize that you are also invested in this sector, right? What do you think? Can you share some thoughts? When you frame questions in that sense, then they're willing to share more about the company. Then he'll probably come back and say, yeah, there's like there's a lot of investments coming in. I have a lot of China companies investing into energy sector in Malaysia. A lot in Johor. There's a lot of land banks that are converting into data centers. That's the tip that you need, because a guy who has a company that doing this. He's telling you a lot of investments coming out from China, and then that's where you keep the conversation going. You get more information. Then now you're pretty confident that there are a lot of actual activity going on. It's not just news speculation, news media throwing out random information. There are actual people that is working in that industry who seeing the investment coming in, and then you have that confidence to invest into the asset, to invest in a stock.
I'll even go and take that information and try to piece a few clues from what I can research to back that up.
Yeah. And if another thought is that if you are even more dedicated to investment or to knowledge gathering, then you take that information, you ask him, hey, where around in Johor is all these land banks, getting converted? You drive yourself to Johor, see it for yourself, whether there's activities going on, whether there's construction actually going on. If you see like 5 acres of land being, constructed for like warehouse or data centers, and then you have like, instead of 80% confidence, you have like 95% confidence that this company will do well. So you take it to the next level. So these are like extra steps. Of course, rich people, like I said, like if you compare like the mentality of the poor and rich, like the rich people will be like, hey, you call their bankers and say, hey, really this is happening. Is it happening in Johor? Then the guy will say, yeah, it's happening. I've seen it for myself. Okay, they have the access to information. They don't have to drive themselves all the way to Johor to see. But the poor, you can make an extra effort, actually do that kind of research, go there and see. And it's all about effort and all about the mindset.
I love that.
Solid.
Ever feel like your savings and your money sits in your bank account and do nothing? Well, that's the feeling I get if I leave a lot of money in my bank with pretty low interest rates. I don't get to keep up with inflation either. And perhaps some people are just really hesitant to invest because they haven't made their research and stuff. But while we wait, that money sits down and still do nothing. Now, if this sounds like you should definitely look into Versa, a digital savings and investment platform which allows your money to grow in a very easy and smart way. If you're new to Versa, this is probably the best time to jump in because there's a welcome quest which allows you to capture incredible opportunities to grow your money right now. So if you sign up and cash in at least 1,000 ringgit right now to any funds, you'll be getting 3.8% per annum base returns. But wait, there's more. You get an extra 2% per annum net on top of whatever you're earning, capped up to 30,000 ringgit. And that's until the 31st of March 2025. Now, if you put that together, that's 5.8% net returns up to March with the money that you cash in. Plus, if you use my code VTHOMAS, Versa will give you an additional 10 ringgit to get started as well. Why I trust this platform? Because they're regulated by the Securities Commission Malaysia and they are also managed by AHAM Asset Management Berhad. And these are one of the big boys, so I know that our money is in expert hands. But remember, this promo only lasts until the end of March. So the earlier you deposit and the earlier you take action, the more you earn. So don't miss out this chance to make your money work harder for you. Download the Versa app and start growing your wealth today. I love your advice because you're indicating, even, you see, a lot of people think that investment is just like, very little work. There's a lot of work behind the move. Right? You see one move, but actually there's a lot of move behind the moves, right? And then what you just give was a really cool tip. I never thought it like that, right? In order to talk, so a lot of people, they want to meet rich people and they go, or maybe meet wealthy people. And I used to do that when I was younger. I just go and ask. Just blatantly ask, like, hey, can you show me how to get rich? Or, what stock do I buy? Should I do this? And I think there's a logic to it because nobody likes to help someone who's lazy, right?
That's right.
Think about it yourself. Like, if you are in that position and then someone who's lazy asking you for help, you don't feel inspired to help that person.
That's true.
But if that person is trying, like, he's putting in the work and he's trying really hard, he's elevating himself. I think, here's my opinion. I don't know if you agree. A successful people would not put another person who's trying to be successful. They won't put them down. If you're trying to come up and you're already here, you don't want to put them down because they already know what it takes to come up. So they were more likely to support you than the other way around, right?
Yeah.
But if you're lazy, like, hey, just tell me.
100% true. And it's even simpler than that. Like, I guess in general, no one likes to put people down, right? If people ask for help, you probably help them to the best of ability that you can. So if someone that is very enthusiastic, who shows a lot of effort that you've done into it, yeah, you try to help them as much as possible. You don't mind just sharing because they are just words, right? There's a lot of money in the world. It's not as if, hey, you're gonna make 100,000. I'm gonna lose 100,000. No, let's make 200,000 together.
Wow.
But it's probably the mindset of people that thinks, hey, he wants to push me down. And usually, there's no such case. I guess even in general, you wouldn't, unless you're like a real jerk and you want to keep someone down. Usually, there's not that kind of case. Yeah.
I think jerks exist in all economic classes, lah.
Yeah.
Not exclusive to wealthy people.
Yeah. For some reason, maybe even the less wealthy will be more jerks because they have probably a lot of problems in their life. So they tend to have that kind of victim mentality, like you mentioned just now, and that kind of shapes their character. But a lot of the wealthy people, they are just relatively chill guy.
Yeah.
If they can share, they will share. And even if what they can't share, it's just a good conversation topic that you can just chat with them. Obviously, you not just with wealthy people. If you go up to any random people, if you don't have any conversation topic, you're not going to be able to hold a conversation with them.
Correct.
Much less, if you want to talk to someone who's more influential, who has a bit of more, knowledge and information. Yeah, you must be able to hold a conversation that they are interested in as well. Right, a conversation, it has to be a two-party thing where both parties are interested in talking. Right, and if you just blatant, like you said just now, if you blatantly ask them, hey, what stocks to buy? That's not a conversation that they want to participate in. Yeah, because it's not beneficial to them. They're not interested. They say, oh, I really know what stocks to buy.
Yeah, what should I share with you?
Yeah. But if you say, hey, I have start a conversation around investment in stocks, and then they say, hey, then they know that they can put some input into it. That's how you get the conversation started. Yeah.
And I love the part that you say you have to elevate yourself so you can hold a conversation. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, I think what you said earlier, like, it's probably not as easy, but you have to put in more work.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of like revealed to people that, and that's why you can't get those conversations. You have to do those works,
That's right.
Yeah. I think everything in life needs to be work, right?
It has to be work. And it's actually very simple, right?
It's probably simpler than learning how to cook.
Yeah. If you can't even hold a conversation, like, why would people talk to you?
Yeah,
not just with wealthy people, with anyone in general.
That's
like your friends. You want to meet new friend, you don't know what his topic of interest is. How can you guys be friends?
Probably not.
No, probably not. Yeah. You're gonna need to find a topic that interests both parties. Yeah.
So it could be anything, like could be cars, could be watches, property.
Yeah.
Right.
And one conversation could lead to another. Right. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be investment.
Yeah.
You could start off from cars. You get to know the person, and then slowly, you want if he's interested to continue the conversation, then you can move on to other topics. Yeah.
I love this concept where you say actually a lot of them are very chill. But you're probably 50 or 100x more net worth than me. And here you are, like, sharing with me. Where probably more than that, right? But still, like, very. It's just like a guy talking to a guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about the value of the asset. It's just if we have a topic of conversation to talk about, then let's just have a chat. And there's no detrimental effect to me. It's just me talking. And then, I could definitely learn something from you as well. So it's all about the process of learning. Even if someone is wealthy, there are a lot of things that they can learn as well. Like for yourself, you're a successful YouTuber and podcaster. I would like to learn about podcasting as well. So I come on here to also learn, expand my knowledge as well. And, if I can also share some of the investment knowledge that I have and it can be beneficial, then we have a fruitful conversation like we have today. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I'm getting some good stuff. I hope you guys are as well. And just type in the comments what you're getting as well, right? Anyways, I want to switch the conversation a bit to something different because we have a lot of viewers from different kind of like background. We did some research with our viewers. So let's try to help someone specific in our audience. So for example, if I'm a professional making around 5,000 to 6,000 ringgit a month, right? I'm someone who's in that income zone. And I now listen to this podcast, I'm like, man, I really want to grow. I want to one day own better cars, provide better for my family, give more security for my family. What will be your step-by-step advice for them? And let's say for next 12 months, should they focus on investing only, or should they learn how to increase their income, only invest, or what? What would be your if you were that guy, right? What would you do?
Yeah. Okay. The thing about investment is not a money builder. Think of it, it's a wealth builder, but it's not a money builder. Yeah.
How's that different, the terminologies?
Yeah, I'll come to that in a while. So to put it in context, if you have 5,000 to 6,000, you're earning 5,000 to 6,000 a month, right? So your take-home pay is probably about 4,000. Minus off your necessary expenses, you're probably left with 2,000. So when it comes down to how much is available for invest, it's probably just 1,000 a month, right? If you do very well, like 10% a year, 1,000 is probably like just 100 ringgit, right? I mean, probably to you now, if you think, hey, just 100 ringgit, a bit small, right? Yeah. So like I said, why I said investment is not a money builder is because if you don't have that capital available for you to invest, you can't get the returns that you want. Percentage-wise, it might look good. 10%, very good. But 10% on 1,000 is 100 ringgit.
Won't make a big difference,
right? Yeah. Switch it up to if you have 100,000, 10% is now 10,000. Then you see that's the money increasing, right? That's the bigger sum, and that's where you see the money a bigger sum, right? Right, and then that 10,000 could be reinvested. Then you have 110,000, 120,000, then you slowly grow to 150,000. So like I said, it's a wealth builder, but it's not a money getter, especially not if you are earning, 5,000 to 6,000 a month. So the advice is to actually learn investing. If you're earning 5,000 to 6,000, the first advice I would say is to invest to learn. Like I said, to be experienced in the market, like I mentioned, if you have 5 to 6 years of actually looking at that particular asset, that particular stock, you know how is the stock movement and all, right? So your first aim is to learn, not to expect to build wealth from that, because the capital is not big enough for you to build wealth.
Okay,
right? To learn, be invested in the market so that you know the pains when your capital is still small. And, after, maybe 3 to 4 years when your income has grown to 10,000, 12,000, that kind of range, where you can invest a bit more money, you can probably invest up to 4,000 to 5,000 at a point of time, right? Right. And then you can apply the same knowledge and you can have the same confidence to put that money to work, right? And the reason why I say when you're earning that much, what you should do in the next 12 months is to bring yourself up to be able to earn that 10 to 12,000 so that you have more money to start building the wealth that you have. Because when you're young and when your income is still relatively lower, the most important thing is to improve yourself so that you can get a better income. And then you can take that excess money they have to be invested in a larger capital. Yeah. So, because I would say like, if you have like 10,000, even 5,000 a month to invest, right? 10% a year is 500. So right, then you see that's where the money is getting bigger, it's starting to roll. And if you reinvest everything, and then maybe a year you can save up to 20,000 investment, you can get actually 10% is relatively optimistic return. 5%, 5% would be a more realistic return. Yeah, and then that's where you start to build your wealth. Yeah.
And then I would assume that because you spend time in the market, you probably are aware when the cycle comes, and then you can strike more in the ring when the time is right.
Yeah, and it's also one of the topics I want to talk about is that you need to learn because you need to be confident, right? Because when you start investing, you start investing $500 a month. Okay, $500 is relatively small, but you train yourself to be able to be comfortable investing that amount of money. And then when you get to a point of time when you get 5,000, where you have 5,000 capital to invest, now you're confident in investing 5,000. If you just start out, will you dare to invest 5,000? Like that because humans are like this. They need to be comfortable in increasing sums. Then they get more and more comfortable in investing higher amounts of money because they have done their homework. They have their knowledge on that. So it's to train you to be confident. And then it comes to a point of time where you have 20,000 and then you see a very good asset. You say, hey, I've seen this before. You know that this asset is going to do well in the next year. I'm going to deploy 20,000. But if you're just like in your first year investing, how many people dare to put in 20,000 in an asset? And it's like so scared. It's like, 20,000 is a lot of money. It's like half my net worth, right? Half my savings. I don't dare. Probably I put 2,000. Then you do very well. You get 10% return. Then you're going to get 200 ringgit. Compared to, hey, now I'm trained. I have confidence. I don't mind putting 20,000 in because I spend time looking at the market. And then you manage to get that 10% return. And now it's 2,000. Right? It's about confidence. And it's similar to me as well. When I first started out investing, I buy like 10,000, 20,000, right? And then, I see the returns. But when I see the returns, that time it's like small. 1,000, 2,000 over a year is pretty small. But then I build up my capital, and then I'm more experienced. I have more confidence in putting. And then you put in 100,000. Then you start to see like, I get 10,000 return, 20,000. That's where you see the real money coming in, right? And then you start, and then it can be like a passive income, right? So, but it's very rare for someone that is new to investment that say, hey, I want to throw in 100,000 in the market. You have to build up to that kind of level, that kind of confidence. And that's the reason why I advocate starting to invest early is to build that kind of confidence. So that down the line, when you have more experience, you are more confident in investing that sum of money.
One of my mentors told me that because you share a very important mindset, which is if a lot of people want to be confident. My mentor said that in order to be confident in something, confidence is not a feeling, you have to put in the work to feel confident.
Definitely,
right? It's like you have to in order to trust myself, I need to know that I did the work, right? So my mentor said, if you don't have confidence, it means you don't trust yourself. Because you don't trust and think of yourself as a person. He didn't learn anything. Why would you give your money to this guy? Right? So you have to put in the work and do that, build up that confidence, experience. And I think a lot of people avoid that. They want the easy way, they want the fast way.
That's right.
Right? And then they get themselves in trouble, or when the opportunity comes, they don't dare to strike because they don't have the confidence.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. Very, very wise words. Yeah. You if you are not confident in yourself, then you don't trust yourself. Then you don't, like I said, you don't put that amount of money that you should. One of the worst things that you can feel is that I should have invested more. Very, very, very common thinking. Because I myself do that. I buy into a share. It does. I should have bought more. I should have bought 5 times more. I have the money, but why didn't I buy it more? So like for me, I'm still constantly learning. Because like I said, when I buy into an asset, when I buy into a stock, you never know when is it going to go up. You're confident that it will do well. You're confident that it will form. And then next comes the story at how much money you should put in. Why didn't you put in more? In retrospective, you could think of it like that. Because it did well, right? You should have put in more money. So investment is a complicated game. You have to be invested in it. You have to learn from it. And I guess you have to be humble about it. Because you never know when anything will change. Things that you learned previously might not apply as well. Like things that you haven't seen previously might come as well. So it's so complicated. Money can be complicated. But you try to simplify it for yourself, and the returns will come.
I think that's why any good investor is always continuously learning, never stop learning. They never stop keeping their tabs on the market. Right?
If it's so easy like blackjack, 21, I sure win. Then that's the rules. But there are no rules in investment. The market has no rule. For example, tomorrow Trump might be declaring war on some other country. And then gold price will go up, stock market crash. Can anyone predict this? It's not something you can learn. But it's something that you have to experience, such as Asian financial crisis, 2008 US housing market bubble, and even COVID. No one expected it. But those are big events where, of course, you can make big money, right? So you have to continuously learn about this.
Actually, I can relate to that because when COVID came, a lot of things crashed, including Bitcoin, S&P 500 crashed. And I had my lump sum of cash and I was so fearful, right? Because I had a training company back then. I need my money and everything.
Yeah.
And I saw my friends going in, right? People who are already invested for the last half decade or full decade.
Yeah, yeah.
And they all like fire sale, like going in. I say, siao one. Then they were liquidating like things that they don't need. They were selling like crazy good. And I know what you mean. And I was like, I will put a bit. And then my percentage that I got was insignificant because I went in with so little.
Yeah. What's the point of getting like 100%, 2x your money?
Yeah.
But you only put 2,000.
Correct. I made more than I made 2x. I'm almost 2x, but it's literally nothing. And some of my friends who did it, actually particularly one of them, he probably made enough money to don't have to work for the next, say, I don't know, probably for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But it's not because he was lucky. It's just like everything you said today kind of matched what he was doing.
Can I just ask you one question? Yeah. Is he a more elderly man?
He's 40 roughly around near 50.
50.
Yeah.
He learned from the 2008 financial crisis. Yeah. He learned that when the market crashes, at the lowest point, always buy. Because it always rebounds and it always trends back up.
Wow.
Yeah. Same with COVID. He had the confidence. He learned from 2008. Yeah. Definitely. The reason why I asked the age is because you have to experience this kind of crises to learn. I was too young at 2008 to experience 2008 as because I was just fresh out of uni. I think I was still in uni.
2008, you're still in uni?
Yeah. No. 2008.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't invested in the market, so I don't know about these things. Then when 2019 came, because I didn't experience 2008, I couldn't have that much confidence. Right. And if you ask me now that I understand 2008, I understand a bit of 2019 because I experienced it. When the next one comes, you know what to do. You know what assets to buy. Right. You have that confidence to do that.
Yeah. So on the surface, he lucky lah. He went in the right time and made a lot of money lah.
Yeah, I know.
But because like you said, he experienced something. He learned. He was humble enough to learn something out of it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you're right. He actually did suffer quite a lot during the Asian financial crisis. So he did take quite a big hit, right? But it was a very eccentric movement because he would liquidate his cars, like he would sell his Range Rover, you know, it was like, you want to buy golf clubs, he was sending his golf clubs. It was like crazy. And he's like, Thomas, what's all okay, mo ye zhou ah? You do at home also ma. I can buy the
sell the thing
sell the damn thing every morning, come out, go work out, you know, and then he does his own little routine, right? And then he sends me, oh look, I'm doing this, and then he said, I sold this car, I sold it, and he said, okay, Thomas, I have nothing to do at home anyways. The car not like can use anyways. That was really funny and yeah, it's just really interesting to see that some people made it so big, you know.
That's a very in today's language is like alpha move.
Yeah.
Because like he literally he had so much confidence that the market bounced back. And I wish I had that kind of confidence as well. Like to just liquidate every sort of asset that he has and to go all in the market. You need to be very confident in it. Yeah.
But this guy's been like, he also came from the financial sector. He's also been investing for a while. He's always had his hands in the market. Right? And that gave him the confidence. So it's really cool because now we're piecing the pieces together. I hope you guys are getting a tip from this is that, you know, start early, you know, start getting your hands in so that when something happens, you know, you have the confidence to make the moves when it's right in front of you, right? Right? Yeah. So it's not luck only. The luck is there, but you're not willing to take it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And another thing is that the mindset that especially about younger generation, you have to be patient, right? Like this kind of move, right? Like your friend, he suffered probably in his 20s during the Asian crisis. And he probably made his money during his 50s, right? From that investment. So success usually doesn't come so early in your 20s, right? Because you don't have the chance to learn, right? So don't rush. Be patient, right? If you have the experience, your returns will come in the future. but it won't come in like 1 or 2 years, which is what the mindset of the younger generation will probably be thinking right now. Hey, I want to learn about investment, but yeah, next year I'll get rich. I can buy that Porsche. It's impossible, right? It's impossible. Maybe 5 years if you do well, you apply yourself enough. Maybe you can have that pot of gold to buy that Porsche. But then usually it takes 10 years, 20 years to build that kind of things. Yeah.
Maybe a good way to think is like you give yourself a 5-10 years span to accumulate a decent amount of wealth. But if you get it early, it's called a bonus. If it gets 1-2 years early, then it's a bonus.
Yeah. That's right. So, tempering expectations, mostly it's about mindset, how you apply yourself.
But how about luck though? Do you think luck is important in getting rich? Or would you agree that luck, the difference between someone who's rich and not rich?
Luck plays a factor. I believe that luck plays a factor. But you have to put yourself in a place where you can get lucky. So luck could be like, I overhear someone chatting about a stock. Could be as simple that in maybe a car gathering. Right? Someone's chatting and possibly you're also in that industry and you heard, hey, I've got this contract from China, $1 billion. Then it so happen you're in that industry. And then you're like, hey, wow, that's information that I could use. And then you buy in the stock and you do well. So luck comes in many forms, right? Whether you hear a tip here and there, or you for some reason you just stumble across that information, and then you use that luck to make yourself better. A lot of people, a lot of the rich people, they will say, hey, he's just lucky. But you can get lucky. But lucky, I mean, not like you earn toto. That's 100% luck. That's 100% luck, right? Luck is like you hear something, you process that information, and you apply it. Most of it is this way. Right? A lot of some people that I speak to is like they put themselves in that position to benefit from that. But in order to be lucky, you have to put yourself in that position first. Yeah. So I think luck plays a factor in whether you can become wealthy or not. But effort and application also plays a bigger factor. Yeah.
And that's true. I guess if I'm in a car club and I heard someone say about a particular industry, if I'm not even doing my basic research, if I'm not even comfortable with moving 100K or 1 million around, I couldn't do anything with that information too, right? You have to be ready to use the luck, right?
That's right. Let me give you an example. Like a car, right? Let's say we have a Porsche gathering, right? Porsche gathering, right? And you yourself have a Boxer Spider. And then you heard some statistic. Hey, there's only like 100 Porsche Boxer Spiders in the world, right? And then you're like, hey, I have one. Or you're looking to buy one. And then there's like 3 in Malaysia. And then you decide to, you just randomly heard this statistic, and then you buy into it, or you already own it and you want to hold it. And then 3 years down the road, there might be a chance that that car could just explode in value just because collectors start to buy into it. There's a Porsche. And then you can say, oh, am I lucky that my car has now appreciated 2 times, 3 times? Very possible, because this happened in the 918 Spider. Right. 10 years ago, it was a okay car. It was expensive hypercar from Porsche. Right. Price was like 1.5 million ringgit. No one wanted to buy it. Then come 2010, when everyone started to talk about the holy trinity of cars. And then 918 Spider, now it's like $1 million. Right. So you can never discount these kind of things, right? It happen. I think there are a few other cars that also does that, which are not as probably not the hypercars, but there are also some lower value cars that does that. Classic Porsches, 964, right? Thing 5 years back, it wasn't popular because everyone thought it was ugly. But then, for some reason, people's taste change. Collectors start to collect the car and push up the value. So these are examples that we could apply in a car context.
But then again, if I'm not in the car world, I don't study the prices, I don't have the confidence to move the money, I couldn't do anything like that.
If you're not a car guy, you're not in a car club, you couldn't hear this kind of information.
And if you take that in the context of investing, whether in any assets, including real estate, you have to be in it to receive it and be ready to take action, right? Application that you said earlier.
Yeah. And a lot of it is whether you are in that industry as well. Whether it be cars, like you said, real estate, or maybe in the palm oil. Right? If usually people who make their money is because they are in that industry, they spotted an opportunity, a gap, and they acted upon it. Then they build a business to fill in that gap, and then that's how they prosper.
Because they do it with confidence, not like speculation and everything. Of course, there's to a degree of percentage, like you say, 70%, 80%.
Yeah.
But they did the homework before they did it, lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's so many questions I want to ask. We've spent a good time over here. I have one more. We actually got a few more questions to ask you.
Yeah.
I got one car question here now.
Sure.
You're all car guys. Right? Okay. Wait, coming back to the mindset of say wealthy, poor, and rich, the one I started with.
Yeah.
What do you think? Why do you think poor and middle class people and guys, when we say poor, we don't mean it as a demeaning kind of like category. It's just there are some people out there who perhaps are having hard time meeting ends meets, right? And I personally believe that I've been there in those spots where I can't pay my rent. So I've been poor before. But I'm a strong believer that we can change that. That we can actually do something about it, right?
Yeah.
So when you're talking to someone who's thinking about when you think of people who are poor and middle class, facing difficulty to build wealth, do you think it's a mindset factor, or is it anything else that's preventing them from building wealth?
Mindset plays a very big role. And I'll try to say this without offending too many people, is that when you're less wealthy, let's say you're earning 2,000 to 3,000 a month, and then I see people or younger people, because that's where they start off their salary, right? And then they're eating out every day. This is just an example. And then they spend like 1,000 on a car on a car loan, right? How do you expect to build wealth when your expense is so high? You don't even have the spare money to do that. But probably the mindset is like, hey, I want a comfortable ride, or I want to eat out every day. I don't want to cook, or I don't want to eat cheap food, like in the kopitiam or something, right? So these are the mindset that is preventing people who are poorer or who doesn't earn that high of income to build wealth, because their expenses are so high and they don't have that spare cash to start building. They're not saving, they're not investing. And essentially it just comes down to the mindset, how you utilize cash, how you do your cash management, right? And if you are really serious in building wealth, the only way is the biggest money generator when you're young or when you don't have that capital is yourself. Because you can make money. If you treat yourself as an asset, you are making 5,000 ringgit a month. You're making 50, 60,000 a year. So that's a cash generator. You have to treat yourself as an asset, right? If you invest yourself, next year you can generate 70,000. You can generate 80,000. That's your way of building wealth. You using your knowledge and your skill to work, and then you generate wealth. People think work is it's a very like degrading thing in the world of wealth building or being rich. If you work, you cannot build wealth. But you have to work to get that money to start building your wealth. And you yourself, you have to treat yourself as an asset. Your asset, you are not putting any capital, zero capital. You as a person can generate 80,000 of cash, or 60,000 of cash for you to invest. That's how you get your first capital to start invest. But if your mindset is like, hey, I can generate 80,000, but your expense is 60,000. How much? And then you have to pay tax, insurance, and all that stuff. How much excess money do you have left to invest?
Anything.
Barely anything. So it's the mindset of some people who are poorer, and they blame, I don't have enough opportunity and all to build wealth. But the first thing is that you need to alter the mindset, keep your expenses down early, build your capital, start building your wealth, because wealth is like a rolling snowball. Start small and it will continue to grow bigger and bigger. Yeah, 25-year-old driving BMW. Some maybe agents. I don't say agents. They are getting like 10,000 commission, but they want to buy like a BMW 5 Series. Car loan is like 4,000 a month. Yeah. Short term wise is a flex. But cars in general depreciating value. Yeah. Right. Is that a really need for you to get a car? So it comes back down to the mindset that's preventing them from building wealth. Right.
I completely concur with you because when I started my sales career, I was in network marketing. The biggest investment I did was to invest in my skills. Right. So one of the things that I was selling one-to-one, and I was really slow in making money, and then I spent. I know it's so ridiculous. I spent $15,000 to learn how to speak on the stage and how to sell on the stage, and that was everything I had in my bank account. Okay. But I knew that I have to appreciate my capital. Yeah. I can't just say a few words and people buy things, right? I need to learn there's an art and science of influence. I have to upskill myself. But before I had this mindset, I was thinking like a poor person. I was thinking why I don't get sales, why nobody want to talk to me, the product sucks, the company sucks, the market sucks, these people suck, right? And I never really put effort to invest in myself. And then when I started hanging out with my mentors, people who were more successful than me in the industry, out the industry, I started noticing that my behavior started to change. I started to see that, okay, I have to invest in myself. I have to make my asset better. And so
you are the asset.
I'm the asset, right? Yeah. If I don't treat myself as an asset, there's a saying that goes like, whatever you appreciate will appreciate.
That's right.
If I appreciate myself, I will appreciate, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Thomas, 100% true.
Yeah.
What you did was upskilling yourself, and you definitely invested in yourself, and that led to you being able to generate even more higher levels of income, and that's totally fine, right? Upskilling yourself, that's the only way. Like you mentioned, you appreciate in yourself to gain new skills so that you can get more streams of income or higher levels of income. But yours is very not say risky, very gung ho. Because you put everything. Because I wouldn't have that confidence to that. But you had that confidence, and I think that brought you to a much better place right now. And you invested a lot in yourself. Which
I give you a context.
Kudos to you.
Thank you. But I also give you a context. For me, my mindset was like, what's the worst can happen? No money, no money. Then I knock on my dad's door, say, Dad, can I crash in the couch for a while, go back to Johor and then come back out in KL? So I had this like backup plan. Like I guess like I had to lose my ego and accept that I can fail. And if I can accept the failure, then everything okay lah.
I'm
not afraid to fail. It's like,
definitely.
Be shameless a bit. Fail then fail lah.
That's right.
As long as someone said get rich or die trying.
That's right. No, nothing happens without taking a bit of risk. Without jumping. Jumping the.
But just so you know, I don't do that in my investment. I'm very conservative. I'm very conservative in investment. I want to make sure that I keep rolling my money forward. You
have to build that confidence.
I
love it. That I think it should be something that a lot of younger people or even older people who are stuck in their career is something to learn, that you can invest in yourself, not even in the same industry they're in. There are many skills that you can learn that can get you multiple streams of income, right? And there's a term that they say hustling. Hustle. Of course, when you're young, you have more energy to hustle. Then of course, when you're older, a bit less energy to do that. But take the opportunity to improve yourself. Like, treat yourself as an asset. Invest in yourself.
And you'll see the returns as well. You wouldn't be where you are today if you didn't invested in yourself, invested in learning and everything. So I think that sort of answers a lot of the question of what we talked about today, the mindset. But I do want to talk a little bit, shift to one last question, then the car, right?
Sure.
So I noticed you also opened up a YouTube channel, Instagram channel, RichdadInvest, right? What's your aim for it? Because I know that you created Rich Dad, bought a Rich Dad William, became William, and then right, and then you did a lot of comical reels, and a lot of people enjoy that. I bet some of you enjoy it too. Then you open up a investment IG. Is there business behind it? Are you going to sell courses or profit? Because someone, a normal people, I think, he's trying to like sell
courses.
What's the intention behind it?
Yeah. So my main account, it's mostly just a passion, and it developed a bit of a comedy. Because I try to think myself as quite funny. Not sure if people appreciate that.
Very funny.
Yeah. But that's just more of a hobby. The reason why I started the other channel, which is Rich Dad Invest, which I'm trying to put more effort into it as well. Hopefully this year I can put more content and effort into it. It's because I've come across that I have friends and people that I talk to that is just not very educated in the world of investment and financial and cash management. Because it makes sense, because if you're not you didn't study about it, right? Let's say someone who's an engineer or someone who is a doctor or a lawyer, right? They haven't had that training to think about money that way. So and I don't blame them, because their main job is to be a lawyer. So they're supposed to know the law, right? And it takes a particular interest for someone to try to learn about investment. And same for a lot of younger people that I meet through my Instagram. So they're always asking me, hey, how do I learn? How do I make some money? Of course, the aim is for everyone to make money, right? So it came to me thinking that is there some sort of value that I could provide, right? And of course, I've looked around and I've talked to people, and there's a particular segment that I think people are kind of interested in, who are not available. The information is not readily available. Because, like I said, I myself have access to resources, to information that serve me very well. And I think that I could bring that kind of information out and share it with everyone. No point, safeguarding that information. Right? It's just information. It's just that I may get it a week earlier. I may get it faster than some people, or it is readily available for me. And I was thinking, why not, just share it? Even if I share it, it's not necessary people will actually implement it, because like I said, it's about the mindset of application as well, right? So, and then, maybe people are also interested, of how, high net worth individuals invest their money. They like to have a different perspective of it. And also, I also like to teach people on different type of assets, not just, stocks or FX, which is, of course, the easiest to get into. But there are also lots of different assets, like structured products, like bonds, even real estate, that, I can give a bit of opinion and information about, which so that's why that's why I started a channel, to try to share this and try to have a different perspective on investment.
And then probably down the road, you probably get people who really will appreciate what you do, because one of the person that I learned from, his name is Jivan Sahadevan. He's a business coach, probably number one business coach in Malaysia. One of the tips he shared with me in 2014 completely turned my financial life around. Right? And he was sharing for free. Right. And I think there's I think it's something very beautiful today. We can use media, social media, to sort of spread message very quickly and have a library of things that people can learn from. So that's very nice.
I hope, of course, it can be beneficial to people, and if people would like to learn, I'm happy to share. Of course, there are limits to what I can share online, because I think conversations like this is definitely 100 times more effective. But I'm not. If you ask me, am I trying to sell a course? No. But if you would like to learn in the future, maybe I'll set up a training. I'm not trying to sell, but if I'm committed to spending time in this, of course there must be a return, right? But no, nothing concrete at the moment. I'm trying to see if people are interested in the first place. If it's not, no point doing it. Right?
Got it. Okay, so now we know that. So you guys subscribe to, I'll put the link in the description below on Rich Dad Invest as well.
Thank you.
Also, his IG, some of you may already know his IG, following already. Now, before I end though, I I want to talk about a car question.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Let's talk about cars.
I'm more passionate about it.
Okay, so you have this idea that you rotate your cars through Langkawi, you know, and you have the SF90 Stradale, right?
Yeah, right.
And then you have the what do you call it? Man, you got so many, the Lamborghini.
Aventador.
The Aventador is
Ultimate.
Ultimate, the Ultimate.
Yeah.
So you got a couple of cars that you because you seem to enjoy a good selection of cars.
Yeah.
So why do you do that though? Why do you have like you know, cars you switch back and forth? Right?
So the fun thing about Malaysia is that we have to pay a very high duty to register our car in KL, or
at least one time
East
plus
Malaysia.
more, right? Yeah.
At least 1.8 times more, right? If it's a new car, right? And if you talk to people who play supercars, we call them play, or the millionaires, they play supercars. A lot of them put it in Langkawi because it's duty free, right? You can register duty free. You can take the car for 90 days to drive. And it makes a lot of sense because as a supercar owner, I actually don't drive that car every day. It's actually not practical, right? As a daily driver, it's not practical. Yeah, putting miles on a very expensive car, which you also try not to do that. And so, yeah, no harm in putting your car and driving out for 90 days in a year. And then, you know, when I got into, you know, this game, not game lah, like this hobby, then people talk about, hey, you put Langkawi, you can take out 90 days. If you have 4 cars registered in Langkawi, you can practically rotate and have a supercar at home every 90 days. And you have 4 different cars, right? Right. And rather than you pay for 2 cars, you pay the duty and you can have it all the time in KL or in East Malaysia. But you don't drive it every day. You probably drive it once a month or once every 2 weeks kind of thing. Yeah, why not have 4 cars where you can rotate? You can save on the duty. And you have 4 different cars to enjoy. Yeah.
And I would think that most of the depreciation happen is the duty price being depreciated, not the actual car value depreciation, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And then the money that would depreciate, you rather take the money and go and make money in the market.
Correct. Right. Yeah. And it's also, you can say you can take the money that you save, you go invest in the market. But for me, it's that I don't see a reason why you want to pay that duty. And like, I have no rush to have the car here every day. So yeah, if you guys want to buy a car or a supercar, it's a perfectly legal way to put it in Langkawi. Yeah, it's been set up that way. Yeah, and customs they do it on a monthly basis. Especially Chinese New Year, you have a lot of cars.
and
Raya, yeah.
What's your favorite car among all your collection? Because you got quite sport for horsepower. What's your favorite?
They always say your favorite car is your next car. Yeah. But luckily, I don't have a next car coming.
You put on your story, you say you're looking at a 911, maybe go back to Nissan GTR.
Yeah.
But currently your current car is like, which would be your favorite? And then,
my favorite car would probably be the Ultimate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's a limited edition. Very lucky to get one. And yeah, I enjoy the other cars as well. Yeah, I spec it up them myself. So every car is a car that I spec to my liking. And my aim is to just obviously try out different brands. You know, understand the brand, explore, and just feel the car. Different brands have different way of driving.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you ever one day buy consider a dual digit cylinder?
They've asked me, but like I said, for now I'm putting a pause on car buying because it's getting to be a bit of headache. And even if you put it in Langkawi, there's expenses involved as well.
I see.
It's not like a big expense like you pay the duty, but there are money expenses to consider as well. So like I said, the money I could put it into the market, and if I make more money, then I can funnel that to another hobby in cars. Yeah.
You're not in a rush anyways, right?
Yeah, I'm not in a rush. Yeah, I have cars to rotate.
Yeah.
So, and there are a few cars that I haven't really had a chance to drive it as well. Yeah, that I registered. So maybe get through them first. See how it goes.
Nice. Anyways, we got quite some time already spent on this podcast. Guys, if you enjoyed this content, please let us know in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Please like this content as well. But before we end this, William, I really enjoyed this podcast because what I got out of this was you make wealth building possible for people. And this is what I got. It's like, it doesn't matter where you come from. But you didn't sugarcoat it. You didn't say that it's all going to be just easy, it's going to be fine, everything. You didn't sugarcoat it. You give them practical experience and practical outlook, and this is possible. But you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people may think that a lot of people got rich by luck, by 50%, 100x, 6x. They make one deal, they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you became another great example that in order to become wealthy, you got to put in the work.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
You got to put in the work. You got to be consistent. Right, you got to be in the market. Right, no one becomes rich consistently by just pure luck. So thank you for being honest with things that you've done, and thank you for being a great example for a lot of people who are watching this, so they get inspired. So I learned a lot from this as well.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Thanks for having me here. It's a good experience, and definitely there's a lot of things that I could learn from you as well. There are still things that I like to share. Hopefully, if we have a chance, we can do it again. I really enjoyed speaking and sharing the ideas.
I'm sure there's so much more because there's more technical things we can go into. I talk about pairing and all the other products and stuff that you haven't talked about. But I think the mindset I always believe the mindset starts first. It always starts from the mindset.
That's true.
So thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
Guys, so if you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe. I put the William's all his socials down, the links in the description below. Really funny stuff, but you can follow up Rich Dad Investing, right? Rich Dad
Invest,
Rich Dad Invest, right? For some of the content he put up over there. I personally watch it, I enjoy it. I think I got value out of it as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching again, and see you in another episode, and keep it 100.